Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I want to talk about the Business Central 2021 release with 2 new features. So I'm on a Docker container. This version for the Business Central I'm running is the Business Central version 19, and it was released on October the 1st. So in this 2021 release with 2 of Business Central, there are many features, and I will only talk about those ones which are impressive to me. So first, you can use the configuration template. And in Business Central, you have the customer, vendor, item, employee templates. Let's take a customer template as example. So this, you see the customer templates, but you can also access the templates another way. You can go to the configuration templates. So it will also bring you to all the templates you have there. Then you have the customer template, item template, and so vendor template. You can see those are the existing template. And you can also access like the way I did. You can just search customer template, vendor template, so item template, employee template. Go to the customer template as example. So the features added here is like if you want to add a specific field to the template, like you can use the personalize. Like in this case, I added credit limit to my customer template. And then I can select where I want this template to be applied to from the customer list. So if we go to the customer list, right now I have a few customers here, and for the first few customers, like this 10,000, 20,000, you see already have a credit limit there. But like I want to add, because in that customer template I have the credit limit 5,000 set up. So I want to apply that template to the other customers like 30,000, 40,000, and 50,000, because these customers still have the credit limit at 0. So I can go to the customer list, and then I can go to the actions. Then you could see we have the apply template, this option here. So, but it's only apply the template to the line you highlighted, because I want to apply it to the 30,000, 40,000, and 50,000. So I need to highlight those records first. And then I can go to actions, then apply template. So then select this template, the customer company template is the template I added 5,000 for the credit limit. So then I click on OK. If you go to this record, then you will see the credit limit is already set up as 5,000 for these 3 customers, 30,000, 40,000, and 50,000. So yeah, that's a great way for you to bulk update some records with the templates. Okay, so also in this release, Microsoft added some additional fields. I like the field they added for the get shipment lines and get receipt lines, because like they just provide you more information or something. Then you can say get shipment lines, and it will retrieve the shipment lines for you to create an invoice. So let's go to the sales invoice, and then from here, then you can just go to line and functions. You see the get shipment lines. So there are additional fields has been added like this: order number, external document number. So these are additional fields which can provide you like more informative information for what is the original order number, what is the, usually you use the external document number for the customer PO number, right? So you have those as a reference. And also similar for the purchasing side. So then Microsoft added more fields for the, if we go to a purchasing invoice, then you can see if you go any purchasing invoice from here, and then say get receipt lines. Okay, go to line functions and get receipt lines. So there's additional fields added as well. So there's the order number, vendor order number, vendor shipment number, vendor item number, item reference number. Those additional fields has been added. So this item reference number is the item cross-reference number, was derived from the item cross-reference number, and the item cross-reference number is going to be obsolete because the item reference number is going to replace that. If for the item reference number, that was released in the previous Business Central release, major release, and it has you can have like up to 50 characters for the cross-reference number, and it just give you more flexibility if you have a really long number. Okay, so those additional fields, also there are some other fields added to like a bank account. Yeah, but I think, for example, you can, if you go to the bank accounts, then you can see on the bank accounts page, the balance and the balance in local currency, these has been added, which is not available in the previous version. So this will give you overview of your bank account balance on the bank accounts page. Yeah, these fields has been added. Okay, so that's about the additional fields and additional columns. And also another thing is like Microsoft on the item card. So if we go to an inventory item, and previously you only have quantity on production order, quantity on purchase order, so you have all the quantity on sales order, quantity on job, all these you have before, and you have these two new fields added, which is transfer order receipt and the transfer order shipment. So you know, for the transfer orders, there are two separate processes if it's not direct, if it's not a direct transfer. So which means it will be sitting in the in-transit location for a while before it received in the other location, warehouse location. So then you have two processes. You have to ship the transfer order first, then from the other warehouse location you have to receive the transfer order. So that's why they added two fields here. One is for the transfer order shipment quantity, another one is for the transfer order receipt quantity. But what I found, I think there's kind of a bug here. At least I see in this Docker container for this Business Central version 19. I don't really have any other extensions other than Microsoft extensions added, but I don't see the quantity on the production order anymore. And another thing is like under the replenishment tab, so I don't see that production BOM. I don't see the production BOM and the routing here. So if I personalize, let's see if we can add it. But I don't think that's the issue. So let's try to see if there's any. You see, if under the inventory, it just like kind of like they did add additional two other fields for transfer orders, but I don't see quantity on production order anymore. Somehow in this Docker container. And if you look at my extensions, except for Microsoft extensions, I did not really have any other extensions added. So it could be a bug they didn't notice when they did this release. So all these, which says installed, those are Microsoft extensions. Those are not other extensions. Those are just the base Microsoft extensions. Yeah. So I don't know why, but this kind of like a bug. It added some fields, but removed some other important field. I don't have the. And if you check my experience, I can go to the company information to check. Maybe it's due to the experience here, user experience. It should say no. Yeah, because this experience. Okay. So that's the thing. We have to switch to the premium experience because the premium experience has the manufacturing module. Okay, that's the experience. So that's refresh. Then we should be able to see. Let's take a look if we can find the quantity on production order field now. Under the okay, so quantity on the production order comes up. So that's the user experience. If on this Docker container, it was using essential experience. So only the premium experience has the manufacturing. And under the replenishment tab, you could see the production BOM number and the routing number came out. So yeah, so that's about the additional fields added to the item card. And also there are some changes for the non-inventory item in this release. So now you can set up a non-inventory item. So like this. So the non-inventory item could be the items you don't want to track the inventory, or could be some service items. So previously you are not able to run the requisition worksheet, add the non-inventory item through the requisition worksheet or planning worksheet. But now you will be able to manually add them. So that this item number is 1001. You can see I'm able to add this item to the requisition worksheet manually. So the purpose for Microsoft to add this feature is because some companies they are running the requisition worksheets for their inventory item, and they're using requisition worksheet to create a purchase orders instead of that from the purchase orders directly. And then, but at the same time, they create a purchase order, they need to add some non-inventory item on the purchase order. So this feature will allow you to manually add the non-inventory item or service item on the requisition worksheet or planning worksheet. So the same thing if you go to the planning worksheet. So it doesn't mean like you can use the planning worksheet to plan for the non-inventory item. You just need, you still have to manually add them. But it's still the planning worksheet and the requisition worksheet will still be used for you to plan for inventory item. But you just have the ability to manually add the non-inventory item or service item on the line of the planning worksheet or requisition worksheet. So for example, I have here, this is the cloud version. It's not from the Docker container. On this Business Central SaaS version, I'm still on the version 18. So if you look at here on the items, I have non-inventory item. So let's find a non-inventory item here. You can see this item is a non-inventory item. The type shows non-inventory 1031. But if you are trying to even add this non-inventory item on the requisition worksheet, it will error out. It does not allow you to do it. But the new feature of this item number immediately give you arrow that cannot be found in the related table because it's only taking the inventory item. But now for this release wave 2, then you will be able, that's back to the Docker container, you are able to add the non-inventory item to the planning worksheet or requisition worksheet by manually enter them on the line. Okay, so, and also you can also track the non-inventory items by locations. Previously, you will not be able to track by locations, and now Microsoft make it to in line with the inventory items because you can track the inventory items by locations. Now you can track the non-inventory items by locations as well. And another new feature which is impressive is the integration between the DataWorks and the Business Central, between Dynamics 365 Sales and Business Central through DataWorks. And so there are some new features added to allow you to, for example, you have some customers, you have the customer records which synchronize from Business Central to your Dynamics 365 Sales through DataWorks before. But then you are only missing several records here. For example, you synchronize the customer 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, but you are only missing 40,000, 50,000. And then you added a bunch of additional customers like 40,000, 50,000 later. And now you want to synchronize those records. So you have additional options here, as feature there, but they added another field here. And this field is called coupled to DataWorks. You don't have this before. Okay, so coupled to DataWorks, and so I'm just gonna unselect those. So for example, I'm filter my customer list and to see which one hasn't been coupled to DataWorks before. It's the ones I didn't sync before. Okay, so then you just filter them. And so you can see in this container, Docker container, I don't have any customer record coupled to data words before. So when I filter by this coupled to data words, no, and all of them showed up. And then if that's the case, then you can select them all. And then there's a coupling feature for this. You can click on synchronize and set up coupling. And is other feature I can think about is in the inventory setup they added a field then which can control the use item reference. So this item reference, as I talked about earlier in this video, is it's meant for the item cross reference. Previously it's called item cross reference, but Microsoft added to make the number to be longer and then renamed. They added a item reference. So for some other customers, they may still on the legacy cross reference. For the customers still using the legacy item cross reference, and then they will be switched to the item reference. So if you turn this on in the inventory setup, then what happened is like in the item on the item list, then if you go to the item list, then you could see you will see that shows as item reference, which is using this new table, item reference table, not the item cross reference table. So go to related item and item references. You see this shows up, right? So then I just put a bunch of numbers here. I just put a bunch of numbers here, which means you can see here, if you copy these numbers to a notepad, then you could see it's kind of like 50 characters. Because you have 1, 2, 0, 5 times, right? So it's 50 characters. Previously, it's only 20 characters. So this item reference extended the reference number for the item cross reference from 20 characters to 50 characters. That was from a previous release. That was already done. And then for this release, it just for you to enable this feature to override the previous item cross-reference. If you enable that, and then it will copy your existing data to the item cross-reference, and there's a cutoff date for the switch for you to for the item cross-reference to be obsolete and completely switch to the item reference. And for now, you can use this switch to turn it on or off. If I turn it off, if you go back to the item card, I'm just gonna get out and come back so we can refresh that page. And then if you go to the related and the item, then you don't see that item reference here, right? So it's controlled by the inventory setup. And also, Microsoft added, in this release, added item variants to the demand forecasting. So you could see there's a new setup in the manufacturing setup. There's a new Boolean field added to turn on use forecast on variants, this field. Previously, they only have use forecast on locations, but now you have use forecast on variants. So for those businesses who use the variants a lot, then they may only have a few items, but each item has different size or colors in Business Central. Then it's easier for them to using the planning feature in Business Central to plan for the variants. Okay, and also there's another feature is for the posting preview. So Business Central already have the posting preview feature before, but now they added a hierarchical view for the posting preview in the journals and the documents. For example, if we go to the payment journal, then so in this scenario, I have a bunch of payment journal lines populated here. And then if I click on post and click on preview posting, and it will generate a new page here and to tell you the result for the posting before you actually post it. You can see now if you have the show hierarchy view checkbox turned on, then you will see this posting with a tree type of view, right? Like you can collapse it, you can expand it. So this is the hierarchical view. And if you turn it off, then you will see a different view. So this is kind of not nested by the account, by the different GL. It's kind of like, this is by the checking account, accounts payable, by different GL account. But if you turn this off, it's kind of by the different GL account. It's just the in and out, debit, credit, credit, debit, by that. Okay, so this is a new feature that by using the hierarchical view, and the accountant for the company can easily identify the issue before they post the journals or documents. And another feature I think which is very important is on the stock keeping unit cards. And Microsoft added routing and the production bomb on it. So you could see under the replenishment tab of the stock keeping unit card, then you could see the routing number and production bomb number now. Okay, so you can use these for the planning feature. Previously, out of box of Business Central, on one Business Central company, you can only have one manufacturing location, and you do not have these two fields on the stock keeping unit card. It's only on the item card. And many manufacturing customers, then if they want the planning feature at the different manufacturing locations and want the cost to roll up on the stock keeping, then they will have to customize it to add the routing number and production bomb number on the stock keeping unit card. So now you don't need to do it. Microsoft added that for you. And then you can, if this stock keeping unit is used for on the production order, then it can be, when you run the planning worksheet, then it can calculate the components properly for you. Another thing is you can set up, previously, if you have a location, for example, in this database, I have a location, the West location, I turned down the require put away. And if I set up an item, then I set up the base unit measure, and then I set up a different purchase unit measure, and I place the purchase order for the item, and I create a inventory put away for the item. Then you can only use in the put away, in the inventory put away, you can only use the base unit measure. Now you can use the alternative unit measure, like in this case, for example, but it's only for the serial tracked item. So like this item actually is a serial tracked item. So if we just copy this item, okay, let's just copy this item, and then go to the item card, then you can see the serial tracking I set up for this item is serial tracked, and we have the tracking specification. So let's take a look on this. So on this item, then if you go to the item tracking, and you could see I have the item tracking code serial tracked. It's now I have the serial number, the number serial set up there. And if you go to this item tracking code, then you can see I have the specific tracking, the serial number specific tracking turned on. I have the serial number warehouse tracking turned on. I have these turned on. So this, you can use alternative unit measure for the put away now, but it's only for the serial tracking item. So in this case, on this item, on my item unit measure, I set it up. I have two item unit measure. One is the piece, another one is the boxes. And so another feature I want to talk about, you see at the bottom of this item unit measure, you have the quantity rounding precision. So now it's rounded to 1. If you have like decimal places, like 5 decimal, whatever decimal places, due to the conversion of the different unit measure, now the issue can be resolved by setting up the quantity rounding precision on the item unit measure. So that's something else. But so now you can set up the item unit measure. Then you could see my purchase unit measure is box, and my base unit measure is piece here. Okay, but I can create a purchase order and then create that inventory put away. And then on the inventory put away, instead of using the base unit measure, I can use the alternative unit measure, which is the box, which is the purchase unit measure. And then it can create the lines for you, because on my PO I have the quantity I put is like is at the 1 box, right? And then because my base unit measure is piece, and the conversion between piece and the box is 1 box equals to 10 pieces. So you could see it will generate 10 lines, and each line is 0.1. So in the total it's 1 box, but actually each line is 1 piece. It's one piece. For each piece it will have a serial number. Yeah. So now it can use the alternative unit measure to generate the inventory put away instead of the base unit measure. So that's another feature in this release. And also in this release, you could see there's some enhancement on the user interface. The first time, because already it's not my first time to log into this environment, but the first time you log into this environment, you could see at the bottom it will say something like a tour, and for when you go to a page, it will say then unless you close that window, because already closed up, you don't see it, but it has a tour experience just for the users who are not very familiar with the Business Central environment. And then you can take a look those guided instructions for those tours. And also you can click on help, and then there's you could see there's a search box here. So in this example, I'm on the customer list. Yeah, so let's just search something for customer. Then you have a bunch of results coming up. So if you're new to Business Central and you want to know more about what you can do with the customers, and then you can search and to see the relevant documents for the instructions for how you can use the customers in Business Central. Yeah, so there's and also there's some peak experience. So for example, like the peak experience is like for example, in this view, in the customer list, I changed it to details. Then you can see so you can see this customer number, the customer name, and the contact, and you can see the balance and the balance due, the balance and balance due. So the peak give you this information. Now you can see those information from the sales orders when you highlight the sell to customer number. So like in this sales order list, you see when you highlight the sell to customer number, it has the dotted line and underline under the number. Then if you click on that, then it will show you kind of a snapshot of the customer number, customer company name, contact name, and the balance and balance due. Those information from when you see the tail on the customer list. So that's a peak experience, and it's some improvement on the interface itself. And another thing is like you can send Word template as an email body from your Business Central now. Let's go back to the customer list. For example, if we change to the list view again, and then if you go to the not here, actions, then you could see there's apply Word template. And if you search Word template here, then you could find the templates you can use as the email body or attachment when you send the email from the list page. Not the workflow, it's just a Word template. So you click on this Word template, so you could see out of the box this demo company has 3 templates. And then you can just download the template, then it will generate a zip file. then you can open that zip file, then take a look what's inside. So if you open this event template, so I opened it with the WordPad, but actually that's an XML format. Then you can see what is in that content. So then the email body you have when you send from a list page. So that's in this page, we can click on actions, then send the email, and we can click on apply word template, right? So then it's just gonna use that event template. Then you can see next and finished. And then you can see how that email sent to the customer look like. You could see those variables in the word template has been replaced with this customer contact name, right? Robert Pons. And then, so then if you are satisfied, then you can just click on the actions, send the email from the customer list and use that word template as the email body or attachment to send it out. In the Docker container, I didn't have the email SMTP set up, so I will not skip that. But this is a feature available in this release. And also, there's an enhanced Teams integration in Business Central in this release, 2021 release. And then you can click on this share. So you can see Microsoft moved Edit in Excel, Open in Excel to this share button. Previously, if you are on a list page in Business Central, then you have to click on page, then edit in Excel, open Excel. But now they moved it to this share button. And also on this button, you have share to teams. So you can share the information to you can connect directly to our teams and send it to a group and put some information there. And the information from your Business Central will be sent to the teams. And also, you can get the Business Central Teams app. You could see get a Business Central app for the teams. You can install that app. There's a guided wizard for you to get the app from store. Then then you can install that app, the Business Central for Teams app, and then you can just copy when you're on like if you are on a sales order, then you can send a chat to your coworker about the sales order. So you can just click on this share button on the top, and you can put in some comments and say share to teams. Okay, then this share feature is kind of everywhere here in Business Central in this release now. So that's enhanced integration with Teams, between Business Central and the Teams. And also there's an enhanced integration with other Office apps for you to do a group deployment. So you can go to the assisted setup. So you could see there's a new section added for if you are the Business Central administrator, then you could see there's a do more with Business Central. Then you can deploy the Excel add-in, centralized deployment. This is a centralized deployment. Same for the Outlook add-in. You can deploy that for all the users, and you can deploy the Teams app centrally. So there's a guided wizard. There's a wizard to guide you through the process. Okay, and this Outlook add-in centralized deployment is kind of replaced the previous business inbox. Then you can set it up you have to set it up for each individual user, but it's kind of replace that. So you can do the group deployment from here for the Office add-ins, Excel, Outlook, and Teams. Also you can if you remember for the previous Business Central version, then you have to if you want to use the desktop version instead of the browser version, then you have to install the Business Central app from the Microsoft Store on your computer. But now there's an embedded feature. You can get a Business Central app, then you can install it from Business Central itself. And you do not need to install the Windows update in order to have that app to be updated. It just updated automatically once your Business Central is updated. But it's an app, it's not a browser experience. But you can get it from Business Central itself from Business Central itself inside the Business Central. You don't need to go to the Microsoft Store to do it. And in the future, Microsoft is planning to use this to replace their to replace that Windows app in the Microsoft Store. Okay, so and other features which I feel impressive is for the admin portal, but because I'm on the Docker container, I'm not on the Business Central SaaS, so I cannot show you to the admin portal. But if you are on the Business Central SaaS tenant and like this version I'm having here, so if you are on Business Central SaaS tenant, then you can just replace everything at the end of here to admin. Then you can log into our Business Central admin portal. And from there, in this new release for 2021 release wave 2, but because I'm still on the version 18 right now, this is the version 18, you can see I'm still on version 18.5. I don't have those features yet. So on this Business Central SaaS tenant. So, but on the new release, you could see if you have multiple environments, previously, when you create a new environment, you can only copy the production to sandbox. But in this version 19, you will be able to copy the data from your production to production, and also copy from the sandbox to another sandbox. Also, you can copy the sandbox data to production data. So it gives you more flexibility for where you want to copy the data from. And also, as a Business Central administrator, you can restart different environments in Business Central admin portal for this release, from this release. Okay. And there's also enhanced integration with Power BI as well. But I also have to show you in this cloud version because in this cloud version, I have the integration with Power BI was set up. And then if you go to the Power BI in Business Central previously, you're only able to select from my workspace, from your own workspace. You are not able to select from other workspaces, like if you have some workspaces shared with your coworkers, and you are not able to select the report from there. You are only able to select the report from your own workspace or from the apps like that Business Central app. There those pre-configured it's not pre-built content packs apps. So, but in this release, as you can see, these are all from my workspace. I cannot select the report from other workspaces which I have collaboration with other co-workers in the organization. But with this new release, when you go to select reports, you will be able to see both my workspace and other workspaces like you have. Shared workspaces and named workspace. You can see both, okay? And also there's a feature for copy the attachment. So go back to my Docker container. So like if there's an attachment, if I'm going to post a sales invoice and I'm sending an attachment, I can copy the attachment to OneDrive. You only need to click on open in one. Oh, so this tool come up. You can see I posted sales invoice. When you first time open this page, this tour experience come up. You can say take a tour. It just give you some instructions on the screen. That's the tour I mentioned earlier. This is an enhancement to, if you are a new user of Business Central, then it just give you some instructions how to use it. Okay, so back to this, and if you want to generate, if you, let's say, if we attach as a PDF for this post sales invoice, after this attachment is generated, okay, so the document has been printed to attachment. You can click on show attachments. So then here you have a button open in OneDrive. Because I'm on the Docker container, it's not a Business Central SaaS, so I don't have the integration the seamless integration to my OneDrive. But if you are on Business Central SaaS, then this opening OneDrive will not be grayed out. Then you'll be able to click on that. When you click on that, that PDF will be saved to your OneDrive automatically. Okay, so that's another feature. And other features, another thing I could think about is job queue entries. That one is also pretty good because previously, if you have errors in your job queue entry, nobody will be notified. You have to go to your job queue entries to see the list to see which one shows status error. So then you can click on show error to find out what exact error is. But now from this release, and the admin user will be notified in the telemetry. And also there's a better job queue failure handling. Like previously, if the job scheduled in the job queue failed, then it's gonna use the existing session to retry. But now, if there's a service interruption and the job queue failed to run, it's gonna open a new session. So because previously, if you are still using the existing session, the chances are it will still fail because you are still in the failed session. But if you open a new session, it will improve your chances to succeed. And also in this release, it will keep on trying with that new session until it's success. And until it's succeeded. So I think that's a good feature. First, you can get notified, and also just open a new session to try. It increase the possibility to succeed, and also it tries until it succeeds to run. So it just for the failure handling of the job queue entry and the error notification. I think those are good feature. Yeah, so I think in summary, all these features are the ones I noticed, and I think it's impressive to me. And so there are some other features added, but I think it just add a field. I'll add something to the report, and so they're good, but it's not that impressive. So, and hope this helpful. Thank you so much for watching this YouTube video. I hope to see you guys again next time.